statistics from New York City. There is a caveat to it. It does say they are preliminary and they are subject to revision. So they're not finalized numbers on this.
Listen, arguing about whether we're at a historic low, it's irrelevant because I follow the news. Oh, sorry, the Irish run the world. Go ahead, Joe B.
When you say they, who do you mean? Thank you.
When I say they, I mean the Irish. We all know the Irish secretly run the world. What I'm trying to say is I follow the news. And so when loser retards tell us that crime is at historic lows, it's simply not true. I follow the news. I see the murders on the trains by the hundreds over the years, mass shootings on the trains. Trains are not homeless shelters for African Americans. Trains are meant for people to go to work at 8 a.m., 7 a.m., 6 a.m., get home from work at 5 p.m. on the train. Trains are not homeless shelters in sanctuary cities, but liberal progressive Democrat mayors seem to think housing thousands of homeless people, criminals, mentally ill, deranged, pooping, peeing on the train, smoking cigarettes nonstop. You can't run a city that way. People can't get to work. Soon people stop taking the train. Then the train needs a bailout from the state, and the state needs a bailout from the federal government. The federal government needs a bailout from the Federal Reserve. We are living in a society that allows recklessness, a society that tolerates homicide. This weekend, 25 people murdered in the streets of Chicago with guns. If we had any will, if we had any objective ethics, we would shut the fucking system down. We shut it down for Big Pharma in 2020, but we don't shut it down for the gun violence that is an industrial gun violence where we got 30,000 gangs in the streets of Chicago murdering each other every single weekend over social media and territory beefs. What we need to do is deploy the U.S. Army National Guard into the city of Chicago, into Los Angeles, into Miami, into Dallas, into Austin, into New York, into Minneapolis, into every major sanctuary city in America. We need 250,000 U.S. soldiers to rush the cities, remove the illegal alien invaders, and stamp out the criminal domestic terrorists known as African Americans who are recidivist criminals, raping and murdering and running our streets in every major sanctuary city, now competing with international criminal gangs. Don't listen to these faggot retards on this stage today. Turn the app off, read a book, go to the gym. Be strong. Don't let these energy vampires ruin your day. If you listen to these faggot retards, you've got no past, you've got no future. You don't even have a president now. I rest my case. I am complete.
Can we get your number on this failed politician? Numbers.
I ain't gonna lie, man. You can't dispute stupidity. You talk about everything you do.
Dirty. One of the things that I always like is talking about people's points. Okay, not try to criticize the individual. We do know, and I'm going to go with Othello. We do know that Chicago, Baltimore, Atlanta, California has a problem. Philadelphia. Have a problem with crime. Okay, we all know this. Okay, so for us to get up here and saying that it's not an issue, we know that. And I'd like to ask everybody this question. The word sanctuary normally means something other than what we call it. Okay, if I have a sanctuary city and I'm actually housing illegals, does that make it sacred? Anybody can answer this question. I'm waiting. Does it make it sacred?
Say it again.
Okay. We say there are sanctuary cities like New York and California, different places, Chicago. Isn't sanctuary supposed to be sacred?
Yes.
Okay. So then why then we would call something sanctuary city? Don't you guys see that it's oxymoronic to call something sanctuary when we all know that they're housing illegal people? Look what happened during the lockdown. All of the borders open, okay? Something's happening. We all seen this. They were feeding, put people in 5-star hotels, giving them cards with $8,000, $9,000 on it, okay? Why are we being disingenuous to a country that we all know that the local leadership, I'm talking about the local leadership of our states, all the way to the governor, are running the U.S. economy into the ground. And I'll land on this. You guys talk about the murder rate in New York is down. I ask you, how many people, productive individuals who lived in New York, decided to leave and take their money outside of New York? How many people have exited New York and California? Please, someone give us that number.
It's a good question. But I mean, I think it'd be better to give your own data because, you know, I gave my data about the 27%. Personally, I just think it's better to give your own data so we can further the convo. I like where you're going.
Fella, there's one of the things I've learned, you know, facts don't care about our feelings, right? That's another thing. We've had a conversation all day, overnight and everything about, you know, can blacks be racist and stuff like that. And I always ask the question, did anything contribute to people's just behavior, no matter what ethnic group they are? So the fact of the bottom is that evil exists on planet Earth. It does. And right now, there are people exiting California at a large clip, and there's people leaving New York at a large clip. Okay? And I'll put the numbers in the chat so